Hello, good morning. Welcome to the speed shop down here in North Devon. Just out today with the 5A2 bikes. I've got some people coming down to ride the Himalayan CB500X, CRF300 Rally, the 310 GS, the KTM 390 Adventure back to back, just to see which they favour really. But today I just wanted to do a quick video on the CRF300 Rally, the 300 notably. This isn't an extensive video. It is not a full ride report on a 300 Rally. It's just the fact that I did get to ride one the other day, and so just wanted to put a quick video up just saying what I thought about it really. It was a local chap by the name of James who just messaged me to say, did you want me to come down and let me have a ride of his? And I said, well, of course, that'd be great. So he popped down the other day. And he took out my Himalayan, and I took out his 300 Rally. We didn't go far, only about 10 miles. It was a new bike. It was still being run in, so just taking it gentle and that. But I think all in all, it's a big step change, the 300 Rally. I didn't have high expectations of it, and to be honest, before riding it, I thought it would be barely noticeable. But there's certainly more pickup in the mid-range, a stronger engine feel to the bike. It feels a bit more like a thumper, whereas the 250 does feel a little bit whiny, a bit whizzy, and not overly engaging from an engine department. I think the chassis has always been good, and I've never had the issue with the weight that some people sort of complain about. But I think just giving it that extra bit of gallop in the mid-range, that bit of squirt when you twist the throttle, I think that's changed the character of the bike. It actually feels a more aggressive, engaging bike to ride. And so from all accounts, really, I think they've done a good job with it. It feels like Honda have finally taken that bike seriously. I always felt the CRF300 and the Rally, the L and the Rally, were both a little bit half-assed by Honda. I never felt they really gave it their all. It was just a bit of a, we'll build it for the Thai and the Eastern market, and if it sells in the West, then so be it. And it has done really well, the CRF300 L and the Rally. So I think for the first time, it feels like Honda put some effort in. What I noticed, it did feel lighter. They claimed 4 kilos lighter for the 300, and I certainly would say it felt that. It felt lighter off the stand than this one of mine. Power was a big difference. I think the extra literage in the tank, which takes it out to over 12 litres, I think that's a good change on it. There was a few bits redesigned, the storage thing here, that was better conceived than it is on this one. The seat was broader. I think that was a big thing. You could just feel it a little bit broader here. So I think you're going to get better comfort. And I think that's a question asked of the CRF300L and the Rally. And I think that's why these two bikes, the Himalayan and the CRF, sit quite conveniently side by side in this lineup. Because I've met a few people who bought the CRF and then sold it for a Himalayan and vice versa. I think the CRF has always been the trail bike, and that's what it was designed to be. The Himalayan was kind of the all-road bike, but it depended. If you wanted a lighter trail bike, the CRF's always been the obvious choice. If you wanted something a bit more hybrid, to me, the Himalayan has always been that slightly, a bit better suited to my kind of travel at least. But it does feel like the CRF300 has migrated a little bit across into that hybrid role. It does feel, with that extra bit of leg grunt in the mid-range, comfier seat, bigger tank, it does feel a bike that you could do more road work on than the 250. So I think it's almost widened its appeal, which is certainly no bad thing at all. And it almost feels like, as I say, Honda are taking it seriously. And when you look at Honda's position, they could really monopolise the adventure market with this, with the Africa Twin. If they brought in the CT125 and then gave us a mid-weight sort of a mini Africa Twin, they could dominate the adventure market. Whether they will or not remains to be seen. But they are sort of finally building a bit of a solid base. So, yeah, the 300 Rally, if you have a 250 Rally and you're happy with it, I don't think really at the minute there's any point putting £2,000 into the 300. But if you're getting to the end of your shelf life on the 250 and you're thinking of upgrading, then I think it would be worth it. I think you're going to find the benefit. And I think you're going to enjoy the new bike and what they've done to it, even the dash and everything else. It just feels more polished. Interestingly, what James was saying is that the shock that he had on the 250 Rally, his previous bike, fit straight onto the 300 Rally. There is internet speculation about how it won't fit, but he said his YSS shock did fit straight on the back. Same with his rear rack. He had a rear rack off a CRF 250 Rally that he took off. He said he just needed spacers here to bring it out. But yeah, it did fit. So all in all, CRF300 Rally, it could very much be the bike for you. And equally, let's have a comparison to the CB500X. This is a Rally Raid Stage 2 bike. Now, the difference between the two bikes is that ultimately the 500X was conceived as a platform sharing machine to make the F and the S. So therefore, it was never designed as an adventure bike. And therefore, off-road, it's always going to be compromised by its geometry and its peg position and everything else. It's also weighty, 209 kilos wet on the scales. That's what that tips a weight at. And what's the CRF300 Rally? So we've got birds on the roof. CRF300 Rally is probably 160. And the difference in weight is huge. So to compare CB500X and CRF250 or 300, you're kind of playing with different bikes, really. The 500X is very much a road-biased adventure bike. The CRF250, very much an off-road biased motorbike. And the 300 probably brings it a little bit more in the direction of the 500X. But still, ultimately, very, very different bikes, mainly because of the weight. You can't disguise how much weight hampers you off-road and how much it dictates your pace and your confidence and everything else. So, yeah, if you are looking at off-roading, it's got to be the CRF. If you're not looking at off-roading, 500X is a good bet. And interestingly, the same price now. You know, the CB500X is the same price as the CRF300. And that probably tells you a little bit of how much confidence Honda has in the CRF. And also the fact it's sold out. You can't get a CRF300. So they've obviously pitched it right. They've designed it right. And I think, in conclusion, it is a step very much in the right direction. If only Royal Enfield had given it that extra sort of 25cc to the Himalayan, because it is that mid-range where you feel the benefit of it. You've just got more roll-on power and a slightly more aggressive engine tone and engine performance. And I think it just changes the character of the bike. And I would expect if the Royal Enfield had done 25cc extra on the Himalayan, it would have done the same. Equally, the GS310 is another bike. If you gave that 50cc extra and made that a 375 or something like that, I think that would transform the bike again. Because this is one which has got no mid-range. It's got no mid-range puff. It's all in the top end. It needs a lot of revs. And it just makes it a little less rideable than, say, the Himalayan, which has got a lot more torque, or the 390, which has got a lot more power. If they could just plug that mid-range with a few extra cc on the 310 GS, I think that would be a game changer. Whether BMW will or whether they'll quietly discontinue the 310 remains to be seen. But yeah, 300 Rally, I really would like to get one for the unit, actually. I think for people weighing up Himalayan, because I've got the new Euro 5 Himalayan, so I think people weighing up the Euro 5 Himalayan and a 300 Rally, I think that would be good back-to-back testing. Because it's unfortunate that as soon as the new bike comes out, it in a way does make the old one slightly obsolete as a comparison. So yeah, I better get saving. All right, cheers.